Hello, dark readers. Happy New Year. It is January 2023, and we have a list of dark books for adults that we're excited about coming out this month. We wanted to just mention really quick that you can find us on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube and our Amazon Live channel where we occasionally play horror trivia, look through the dark books that we're reading, chit-chat about books over tea and coffee. Come join us in the chat. So, Katie, what is the first book on your list today?
The first book on my list today is called All the Dangerous Things. This comes out January 10th. This is by Stacy Willingham, and I read her previous book that came out last year called A Flicker in the Dark, and it was pretty good. This one is it's a thriller about a desperate mother with a troubled past, so of course I'm very interested. 1 year ago, Isabel Drake's life changed forever. Her toddler son, Mason, was taken out of his crib in the middle of the night while she and her husband were asleep in the next room.
Oh no!
With little evidence and few leads for the police to chase, the case quickly goes cold. However, Isabel cannot rest until Mason is returned to her, literally. Except for the occasional catnap or small blackout where she loses track of time, she hasn't slept in, a year. That's a long time.
I just want to say blackouts happen.
Oh my god.
I'm just saying.
Oh. Isabel's entire existence now revolves around finding him, but she knows she can't go on this way forever. In hopes of jarring loose a new witness or buried clue, she agrees to be interviewed by a true crime podcaster. But his interest in Isabel's past makes him nervous. His incessant questioning paired with her severe insomnia has brought up uncomfortable memories from her own childhood, making Isabel start to doubt her recollection of the night of Mason's disappearance, as well as second-guess who she can trust, including herself. But she is determined to figure out the truth no matter where it leads. So this is All the Dangerous Things by Stacy Willingham.
My first book for January 2023 that I'm excited about is All Hallows, a novel by Christopher Golden. So it's set in Halloween night 1984 in Coventry, Massachusetts. Two families are unraveling. Up and down the street, secrets are being revealed, and all the while, mixed in with the trick-or-treaters of all ages, there's 4 children who do not belong. And they're walking door to door, merging with the kids of Parmenter Road. Children in vintage costumes with faded, eerie makeup. They seem terrified, and they beg the neighborhood kids to hide them away, to keep them safe from the cunning man.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Whoa.
There's a small clearing in the woods now that was never there before, and a blackthorn tree that doesn't belong at all. These odd children claim that the cunning man is coming for them, and they want the local kids to protect them. But with families falling apart and the neighborhood splintered by bitterness, who will save the children of Parmenter Road?
Oh, God. Wow, that's creepy.
Yes, it's from St. Martin's Press. It's by Christopher Golden. It's All Hallows, a novel, and I'm definitely picking this up when it comes out on January 24.
Ooh, that's a good one. That sounds exciting. All right, my next book is called Bad Cree. This is by Jessica Johns. It comes out January 10th. When Mackenzie wakes up with a severed crow's head in her hands,
what?
She panics. Oh, man.
What was she drinking the night before?
I don't know. Only moments earlier, she had been fending off masses of birds in a snow-covered forest. In bed, when she blinks, the head just disappears. Ugh.
Oh, jeez.
God. Night after night, Mackenzie's dreams return her to a memory from before her sister Sabrina's untimely death. A weekend at the family's lakefront campsite, long obscured by a fog of guilt. But when the waking world starts closing in, too, a murder of crows stalks her every move around the city. She wakes up from a dream of drowning, throwing up water, and gets threatening text messages from someone claiming to be Sabrina. Mackenzie knows this is more than she can handle alone. There's a lot going on. Oh,
wow. This poor lady.
I it's like the birds and a whole bunch of other crazy things.
Oh, jeez.
Traveling north to her rural hometown in Alberta, she finds her family still steeped in the same grief that she ran away to Vancouver to escape. They welcome her back, but their shaky reunion only seems to intensify her dreams and make them more dangerous. What really happened that night at the lake, and what did it have to do with Sabrina's death? Only a bad Cree would put their family at risk, but what if whatever has been calling Mackenzie home was already inside?
Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. I can't wait till they make this into a movie, because you know they're going to.
It's perfect for a movie. So this is called Bad Cree by Jessica Johns. I might pick this up. This sounds interesting.
My next book is one of Katie's and my favorite genres. It's a creepy house.
Yes.
This one's called The Blackhouse, a novel by Carole Johnston. It comes out January 3. We won't have to wait very long. A remote village, a deadly secret, and an outsider who knows the truth. So this is set in Scotland in the 1990s. Robert Reed moved his family, driven by hope, craving safety and community, and hiding a terrible secret. But despite his best efforts to fit in, Robert is always seen as an outsider. Well, that happens when you move to a small town. I just did that myself. But not to hide my terrible secrets, I promise. So, as the legendary storms rage around him on his new little home, he begins to unravel, believing that his fate on the remote island of Kilmary, cannot be escaped. So now, for her entire life, Maggie McKay has sensed something was wrong with her. Well, don't we all? When Maggie was 5 years old, she announced that a man on Kilmary, a place she'd never visited, had been murdered.
Oh.
Her unfounded claim drew media attention and turned the locals against each other, creating rifts that never mended. So 20 years later, Maggie is grown up and she's determined to find out what really happened and what the islanders are hiding. But when she begins to receive ominous threats, Maggie is forced to consider how much she's willing to risk to discover the horrifying truth. This is The Blackhouse, and it's a gothic suspense novel by Carole Johnston, and it comes out January 3.
Ooh. All right, my next book is called The Deluge, and it is by Stephen Markley. It comes out January 10th, and it's 900 pages long.
Whoa, they deluged us with words.
Yes, it's a lot. It's a lot. And I like the cover too because it's this beautiful sky, blue sky, and there's just this tiny little rip through the sun, so it makes it look all creepy, but simply. All right, so in the first decades of the 21st century, the world is convulsing. Its governments mired in gridlock while a patient but unrelenting ecological crisis looms.
America, just like now.
I know. Is this a nonfiction? America is in an upheaval, battered by violent weather and extreme politics. In California, in 2013, Tony Petrus, a scientist studying deposits of undersea methane, receives a death threat. His fate will become bound to a stunning cast of characters, which are a broken drug addict, a star advertising strategist, a neurodivergent mathematician, a cunning eco-terrorist, an actor turned religious zealot, and a brazen young activist named Kate Morris, who, in the mountains of Wyoming, begins a project that will alter the course of the decades to come. From the Gulf Coast to Los Angeles, the Midwest to D.C., their intertwined odysseys unfold against a stark backdrop of accelerating chaos as they summon courage, galvanize the nation, fall to their own fear, and find wild hope in the face of staggering odds. So this is a dystopian novel. It is huge. This is called The Deluge, or The Deluge. I actually don't think I'm pronouncing this correctly. It is by Stephen Markley. It comes out January 10th.
It kind of sounds like a hot mess with all the characters being thrown together, and that could just be the way the publisher wrote it, the description. I'm like, what?
those are a lot of people, and I can see how you can get all of those characters in about a 1,000-page book, but I'm just wondering if it's going to be too much, like just too much info dumping.
Well, and I am tempted, though, to see, since it mirrors our actual world so closely, if they're kind of hinting that the actor turned religious zealot is Mel Gibson. Sorry.
I hope it is. I love it.
Okay. So, my next book is by C.J. Tudor. I'm sure most of you are familiar with that author. Mm-hmm. This is The Drift. It comes out January 31, at the end of the month. So, Hannah awakens to carnage, all mangled metal and shattered glass. Evacuated from a secluded boarding school during a snowstorm, her coach careered off the road, trapping her with a handful of survivors. Hopefully one of them is not an actor turned religious zealot. They'll need to work together to escape with their sanity and secrets intact. And Meg awakens to a gentle rocking. She's in a cable car stranded high above snowy mountains with 5 strangers and no memory of how they got on board. What?
Wow.
They're heading to a place known only as the Retreat, but as the temperature drops and tensions mount, Meg realizes they might not all make it there alive.
Oh, God.
I have questions. If they're in a cable car and they don't know how they got there, how do they know they're heading to a place known as the Retreat?
Maybe the person on the cable car is like, all right, everybody, we're going to the retreat.
And then we have a third person, Carter, and they're gazing out the window of an isolated ski chalet that he and his companions call home. As their generator begins to waver in the storm, something hiding in the chalet's depths threatens to escape. And their fragile bonds will be tested when the power finally fails for good. I'm in!
This is power outages.
Well, this is the perfect snowy day read.
Yes.
Oh, that's so The Drift by C.J. Tudor.
Oh, so creepy. All right, my next book is called Emily Wilde's Encyclopaedia of Faeries. It is book 1 of the Emily Wilde series. It is by Heather Fawcett, and it comes out January 10th. I am very excited. It looks so beautiful. The cover is filled with flowers. I love it. Cambridge professor Emily Wilde is good at many things. She is the foremost expert on the study of fairies. She is a genius scholar and a meticulous researcher who is writing the world's first encyclopedia of fairy lore. It's so cool. But Emily Wilde is not good at people. She could never make it small talk. I understand Emily very well. She could never make small talk at a party or even get invited to one. Oh, Emily. And she prefers the company of her books, her dog Shadow, and the fair folk to other people. Understandable. So when she arrives in the hardscrabble village of Harafsnick, Emily has no intention of befriending the gruff townsfolk, nor does she care to spend time with another new arrival. Her dashing and insufferably handsome academic rival, Wendell, who manages to charm the townsfolk, muddle Emily's research, and utterly confound and frustrate her.
What a jerk. I hate him already. I bet he's really hot.
I know. Damn it, Wendell. But as Emily gets closer and closer to uncovering the secrets of the hidden ones, the most elusive of all fairies, lurking in the shadowy forest outside town, she also finds herself on the trail of another mystery. Who is Wendell Bambley, and what does he really want? To find the answer, she'll have to unlock the greatest mystery of all, her own heart. I have a feeling Wendell is a fairy. I'm starting to get that impression with that name, Bambley. Okay, this is Emily Wilde's Encyclopaedia of Faeries. This is definitely on my TBR. It looks so cute. And this is book 1 of the Emily Wilde series by Heather Fawcett. What is next for you, Carrie?
I just looked to see if it was a YA book, because it kind of seemed like one, but I guess it's not.
It's cute.
So, my next read is Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone.
Oh.
Now, since Katie and I are cousins, I guarantee No one in our family has killed someone yet. It is by Benjamin Stevenson. It's described as Knives Out and Clue meet Agatha Christie and the Thursday Murder Club.
Wow.
So, the narrator says, everyone in my family has killed someone. Some of us, the high achievers, have killed more than once. I'm not trying to be dramatic, but it is the truth. Some of us are good, others are bad, and some just unfortunate. I'm Ernest Cunningham. Call me Ern or Ernie. I wish I'd killed whoever decided our family reunion should be at a ski resort, but it's a little more complicated than that. Have I killed someone? Yes, I have. Who was it? Let's get started.
Oh my god, that's cute.
This, again, seems like a young adult books, but nope, the publisher is Mariner Books. It's Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone by Benjamin Stevenson, and we're not given enough info to know if this is, I guess it's a comedy, a dark comedy. I'm curious. It's 384 pages of this person listing off everyone in their family, like their wife, father, mother, sister, who has killed someone. Hopefully it gets better from that point on out. I'm not sure I can recommend it based on this info, but now you have it and you can go look it up via our show notes, which always have clickable Amazon affiliate links down for your convenience.
Thank you, Carrie. My next book is actually the second book of the Alex Stern series. It is called Hell-Bent, a novel. The first is Ninth House, which lots of people love. Ninth House. Like, adore it. And I still have not read it. So, I know. So, I might need to take some time to read the Ninth House and then also get to Hell-Bent. I'm not sure if I want to read the summary of Hell-Bent necessarily, because I don't want it to screw up Ninth House. But it's about wealth, power, murder, and magic. The Ivy League is going straight to hell in the sequel. So Ninth House, though, is one of the, apparently people have raved about how much of a great dark fantasy novel it is, including people like Stephen King. So I'll just talk about Ninth House. Galaxy, or quote Alex Stern, is the most unlikely member of Yale's freshman class. Raised in the LA hinterlands by a hippie mom, Alex dropped out of school early and into a world of shady drug dealer boyfriends, dead-end jobs, and much, much worse. In fact, by age 20, she is the sole survivor of a horrific unsolved multiple homicide. Oh my god. Some might say she's thrown her life away, but at her hospital bed, Alex is offered a second chance to attend one of the world's most prestigious universities on a full ride. Well, what's the catch, and why her? Still searching for answers, Alex arrives in New Haven, tasked by her mysterious benefactors with monitoring the activities of Yale's secret societies. Their 8 windowless tombs, quote tombs, are the well-known haunts of the rich and powerful, from high-ranking politicos to Wall Street's biggest players. But their occult activities are more sinister and more extraordinary than any paranoid imagination might conceive.
Whoa.
They tamper with forbidden magic, they raise the dead, and sometimes they prey on the living. So that's the first book of the Alex Stern series. So you can get both of the books, Hell-Bent and Ninth House, by January 10th. So check it out. This is by Leigh Bardugo. And have you read Ninth House, Carrie?
I did. It's so good. It is so good.
Yeah, cool. All right, what is your next book?
My next book of this 2-parter episode is The House at the End of the World by Dean Koontz. I don't have to tell anybody who's listening about Dean Koontz, who is one of the most prolific authors. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Oh my god, yes.
Writes so quickly. So this one is about a girl named Katie. Hello.
No.
Who lives alone in a fortress-like stone house on Jacob's Ladder Island. Sorry. She was once a rising star in the art world, just like our Katie.
Oh, God.
And she finds refuge in her painting, just like our Katie. Okay, I'll stop.
Oh, no.
But there's a neighboring island called Ring Rock, and it houses a secret, a government research facility. No, this is not Lost. And now 2 agents have arrived on Jacob's Ladder in search of someone or something that they refuse to identify.
Hmm.
Although an air of menace hangs over these men, an infinitely greater threat has arrived, one so strange that even the island animals are in a state of high alarm. Katie soon finds herself in an epic and terrifying battle with a mysterious enemy. But she's not alone after all. A brave young girl named Carrie, no, I'm just kidding.
I was going to say stop.
A brave young girl appears out of the violent squall. As Katie and her companion struggle across a dark and eerie landscape, reminiscent of The Tower, or Stephen King's Dark Tower series, no, I'm just kidding. Against them is an omnipresent terror that could bring about the end of the world.
Wow.
This is the house at the end of the world, and I admit I'm pretty curious. I haven't read a Dean Koontz book in several years. This might be the one to break my streak.
Cool.
That's The House at the End of the World. It comes out January 24.
That's awesome. That's too close to me. I don't like it. Okay, my final book of today is The House in the Pines. Lots of house books. I'm excited. This is by Anna Reyes, and it comes out January 3rd, so soon. Maya was a high school senior when her best friend Aubrey mysteriously dropped dead in front of the enigmatic man named Frank, whom they'd been spending time with all summer.
That's weird.
Yep. 7 years later, Maya lives in Boston with a loving boyfriend and is kicking the secret addiction that has allowed her to cope with what happened years ago, the gaps in her memories, and the lost time that she cannot account for. But her past comes rushing back when she comes across a recent YouTube video in which a young woman suddenly keels over and dies in a diner while sitting across from none other than Frank.
Does he just have really bad BO or something? Why are people dropping dead?
I hope that's what it is. That would crack me up. Plunged into the drama that has defined her life, Maya heads to her Berkshire's home to relive that fateful summer. The influence Frank once had on her and the obsessive jealousy that nearly destroyed her friendship with Aubrey. At her mother's house, she excavates fragments of her past and notices hidden messages in her deceased Guatemalan father's book that didn't stand out to her earlier. To save herself, she must understand a story written before she was born, but time keeps running out, and soon all roads are leading back to Frank's cabin. So, this sounds interesting, but there's a lot of extra things in there that just happened, and I'm like, oh no, why do we need a journal and a story? And it sounds like Frank's evil. So check this out if you are looking for a captivating mystery thriller. It is The House in the Pines. This is by Anna Reyes. That is the end of our part 1 adult fiction coming out in January 2023. Yay! Happy New Year. I'm so excited. We have a lot of books coming out this year.
Oh, wait till you see February and March. Oh my goodness.
God, we're not even done with January.
Oh, it's going to be a great month, or a great year.
I'm excited. So stay tuned for part 2. So make sure to follow, subscribe on whatever listening platform you do listen to us on, and to follow us on any of our socials on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and our Amazon live channel. As Carrie was saying, we do a lot of fun things like horror trivia over there. And to check out our show notes, if you get lost or you forgot a book, you can visit darksideofthelibrary.com to find any of the books we do message throughout the month. Thank you guys so much for listening to this podcast. We will see you next time.